The Washington Wizards have a very bright future. So today on day 4 of the 30 teams in 30 days NBA series, I want to talk a little bit about the Washington Wizards and their offseason plus their future, and a little bit of their outlook for this season. So first, I want to get into what was my favorite addition of their offseason, somebody who I really like and somebody who I think could be great for this team, could start at times, and I think he could score a lot, is Cam Whitmore. I liked him a lot coming out of the draft in 2023. I was very surprised he fell. I thought he was going to be a top 4 pick. He slid all the way to the 20th pick to Houston, and I think this was a great pickup for them for only a few second-round picks. I think he's going to be somebody who's going to be in the conversation for most improved, and I think he's going to be probably maybe in the conversation for 6th man of the year, depending on how good this team is going into next year. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about some of their other offseason additions via trade. CJ McCollum, who they traded Jordan Poole for. I think he's going to be a perfect veteran for this team next to Chris Middleton. I think those two guys are great veterans to have for this young core. And I honestly see this team being better than most people think this year. I don't see them being in the play-in, but I definitely see them moving up a few slots. I don't think they're going to be 15th again. I think that's probably going to go to the Brooklyn Nets, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, CJ's coming off of a little bit of a down year in New Orleans, sorry. But yeah, he is on the older side. You know, he does have an injury history. Hopefully he can stay on the floor and stay healthy for them, because I think he'd be a great mentor for guys like Bub Carrington and Cam Whitmore, Keyshawn George, all of these guys that need mentors. I think he'd be perfect for them. I also want to talk about Chris Middleton a little bit. They did trade for him at the deadline last year. They acquired him and A.J. Johnson for Kyle Kuzma. I think that was a fleece of a trade because Kyle Kuzma was really bad in those playoffs. And A.J. Johnson is another guy on this team where I think he could really blossom and become something special. Chris Middleton, good floor spacer. I think he'll be a good starting 3 for this team, and he can be a good mentor to those young guys. Alex Sarr, also another good piece for this team. He was a top 5 pick in last year's draft. I think he's going to have a good sophomore season. His efficiency was really bad last year, but he was in the Rookie of the Year campaign. So I think he's going to definitely take the next step this year. I think he could be a great center for them, great on defense. Honestly, if all these guys can take these next steps over the next few years, I can see this team being a contender within the next 5 years or so. They have a lot of great pieces. I like Corey Kispert. I like a lot of these guys they have there. And I think they really just need that 1A superstar guy that could really take them over the edge. And I think this team is next. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quickly was these new black and gold jerseys they have. These things are sick. I really like how they're going back to the old black and gold coloring. I'm definitely going to get one because I love these jerseys. These are up there with some of my favorites I've seen for this season. And I think this is just a great reband for them. And I think a lot of people are going to start to buy into this Wizards culture. Now, they traded Bradley Beal, they traded Porzingis, they traded Kuzma. Everything that was bad there, they got it out. It's this fresh, new, young team, and I like what they're building a lot. As for this season, I see this team, I'm going to say they get 25 wins and they finish as the 13th seed. I think that's going to be a step up for them from last year. And I really like where this team is going. I like the direction of it.